everyone, and welcome to another Toonkind at D&D. My name is Vamp, and today I shall be playing Mersel, whose other titles include the Star Trio Trophy Husband, the He Who Magic Man, the Beanpole Who Why Do You Wear Heels, and many others are the titles. And today I am joined by the lovely Babble. Babble, why don't you introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Babble. I'm your local menace and motherfucker for the day. I play Winn Chimes, who's having a time, but
Yeah,
it's gonna be fun. Don't worry about it. Everything is fine. Also,
yeah.
just vamp my beloved.
Today we're gonna peck around and find out. That's it. That's literally like the concept that we came up with for this. Yes, we're just gonna peck around and see what happens.
Hell yeah.
It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day, and probably the weekend. It's a beautiful day. It's the weekend, and Lynn, how are you doing?
Uh, well, I mean, he might uh be having a slight panic while looking at houses in the area. Don't worry, it's fine. But it's not related to the houses, so I think he's on his way back to the hotel at the moment. Just like, oh
Yeah.
dear God, oh no, what is this?
And as you're walking back to the hotel, you actually bump into somebody, and it and like I assume like the apologies like start streaming because it's only polite when you bump into someone, and then the both of you realize that the person you bumped into was Marcel.
Hello, hi, I'm so sorry, dear boy. I'm a little distracted. How are you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing all right, thank you, Professor. And he gives you a smile, and I imagine like it's not that Marcel has been avoiding you since your reveal. I wouldn't go it so far as avoiding. It's just that in the interest of you giving him space and in the interest of him like having a little bit of space, you haven't met like as much as normal.
Yee. And like he basically said last time, he is letting Marcel take the lead on this. Um,
Yeah, and Marcel's just kind of looking at Winn and going, what are you doing here?
uh, I was just heading back to the words to the hotel. I I was looking at houses, but I'm a little tired, so
I'm gonna roll something real quick. 6. Okay, you say when you say you. I was looking at houses, and Marcel just goes, "Oh, I have no idea you were interested in architecture."
he kind of looks very confused and puzzled for a moment. Uh, he's not sure exactly what he means by that. But he does state, well, I suppose the architecture is nice. Uh, um,
Yeah, you said you were looking at houses.
yes, I'm trying to move.
Oh, and like it kind of like you can see like the light bulb goes on, like the dots connect, and then he and still kind of flashes a little and go, "Oh, so that's what you meant."
yes, he's gonna take a moment to try and figure out what he meant, and then it clicks, and then he's just like, I completely misunderstood you as well. Oh goodness, it is. I'm going to murder my mouse. Apologies once again, listeners. My mouse fell. Unfortunately, because it keeps falling, you're gonna have to deal with the listening to do my scrolling. I'm sorry. I do not have a desk, so that is why things keep falling. Hello! So sorry about that. My mouse fell from the perch that I had it on. I do not have a desk, so when it fell, it hit the X button on Discord.
Oh no! Did you hear what I just said?
I did not, unfortunately.
Mersel asked how Winn was doing.
Oh, great. Alright. Alright, well, this is one thing that he will lie about regardless. Oh, I hate it. I hate that. Why are you actually decent at deception? Why is that?
That's a nat 20, baby.
That is a nat
But
20.
also,
God damn it.
in the interest of making things interesting, I could use a luck point and force you to reroll.
You could. Do you want to, though?
You know what? Yeah, sure. Winn, take your own pecking advice about like accepting comfort and help.
It's a
That's a
13.
13.
He
And
says
I'm
he's
gonna
fine.
roll.
He says he's
Since he's.
fine. And it's
Oh my
almost.
god.
Meets it!
Yeah, meets it.
It's
Winn.
almost scarily perfect how he smiles and says that he's fine.
Yeah, but also, liars recognize liars, and Marcel's just looking at you with the most dubious expression you've ever did seen. Alright, Spell, what's wrong?
I said that I was fine.
And Cell kind of like crosses his arms and goes, I lie enough to recognize when someone else is lying.
That is a very concerning sentence.
So says the one that's lying right now.
Touche.
He looks a bit nervous as he's doing this, by the way. Like, he's basically calling Win out. And again, he knows Win is okay, but also, haha, his bio family would have never stood for this. And old habits die hard.
Mm. He stops and he thinks for a moment. He's not sure exactly what to do or say. He doesn't know how to explain. Let me see. What does he have that's new? What can I do to force him to use some of his magic? I can do this.
You can then do this.
I can. I can have him do this. So, Dex saving throw with disadvantage since he can't fucking see this. That's a 2. Someone bumps into him. And of course it's on accident. But he's a little on edge, obviously. And he jumps, but the person catches him before he can, like, pull away. And, well, they're touching now.
Yes.
Let's see. One moment. Where is the damage
God,
for
I
this
think I might
dice?
know what the spell. I think I might know what the spell is.
That's a 2. They take, the person who caught Winn takes 2 points of frost damage, and you absolutely see that emanating from Winn.
And Mersel's just like, Winn!
The person drops him, and he isn't sure what to make of that. If you want to roll an insight, go ahead.
On Winn or on the person?
On Winn.
Yeah, actually, I will. But first, Mersel's gotta go to like the person and go. I'm so sorry about that. He's a little on edge right now. Here, let me. And he's gonna like heal the person of the cold damage.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'm looking at their dice, and that's just a. Yeah, they're healed 6 damage.
Okay. The person it rarely looks at Winn before looking at you, nodding in thanks and just kind of swiftly walking away.
Yeah.
Winn is looking clearly in shock. He hasn't stood up yet. He seems. For the rest of that, you would have to roll an insight, but he's definitely shocked and he can't speak.
Oh my god! I rolled a 19 plus 2.
That's a 21. Okay, so you can see it on his face, the mortification and you can tell he didn't mean to do that.
Yeah, and Mersel kind of like looks at Winn, and something in him kind of softens when he sees like how Winn's looking. Cause like he's been kind of stiff around Winn this whole time, because as much as he cares about Winn, also like the fact that blood family, the associations he has to that, and also Winn actually does kind of look like his mom now that he's actually he knows about the resemblance. Um, that's made him a little stiff, but that expression is so different than what he's ever like seen any of his real family like wear, that it's just like the stiffness kind of like goes away, and he takes a deep breath. We were like crouching in front of him and going, are you okay, Winn?
This time you probably get the most honest answer that you've gotten out of him the entire time. He has one hand over his mouth to keep himself from screaming. And he's, in short little shakes his head no. His hands are also very chilly. You can feel the ice even from the distance that you're at emanating from them, and they do look kind of blue.
Mersel like
That's
like
3. He has to take his hand away from his mouth because, oh god, he just used it on himself on accident.
yeah, and Ursul's just like, oh, okay, hold on, and he's going to heal Winn. He actually what he does is he slowly, like very slowly, he's telegraphing his movement so Winn can see, like can see that he's moving and about to touch him and not freak out. And he's going to grab Winn's hands. He's going to like gently like grab Winn's hands and kind of envelope them in his own, and then he's going to like channel healing magic in there. Which, when you heal 6 damage.
He's not sure what to make of this. A part of him, like, you can feel him debating with himself by his hands, like, flinching a little bit in wanting to move away, but also not, because on one hand he doesn't seem to be able to control what his magic is doing, um, and he doesn't want to hurt you. But at the same time, it's calming to see that there is somebody in front of him, and that it's just Mersel. Uh, and yeah, slowly he stops shaking, and the cold dies down before it can do any more damage.
And Marcel's still kind of holding Win's hands, and his hands are warm. The magic he channeled into you to heal was very warm as well, like a hug. And he's just looking at Win, going, better now.
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to do that.
No, it's all right. Accidental.
I don't know. I don't know where I learned that.
I'm gonna roll an Arcana just to see if Cell would have recognized what's.
Go for it. Ah, that's a 21.
Actually, that would have been a 24. I forgot his modifier changed recently.
Oh heck!
He's a magic man, Babble.
It be like that. Well, he used frostbite.
Oh, oh, it actually makes sense then that he'd know that because he has that spell. And Marcel's just going, I know that spell.
I don't know if that's actually a cantrip or spell that wizards can learn.
I am looking right now, and yes, wizards can learn them.
Alright.
Wizards can learn almost basically every spell. I'm just saying right now, it's gonna be really tough to unless Winn pops off something that is signature to a single class. Most spells fall under the wizard spell list. So Marcel's just gonna pull Winn up a little if he has the strength to stand up and go, I know that spell. I actually have it too here. And he kind of points to a tree nearby, and frost starts spreading over it. Frostbite.
I've never. I didn't ever have that spell. I mean, I knew I had to know about it in order to learn, but I never. I didn't. I didn't have it. And he pauses
And
because he doesn't. This. He doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know where that came from.
Marcel's just kind of all right, okay. Do you wanna go back to your hotel room? We can talk more there.
That sounds lovely, honestly.
All right.
Eh,
And Cell's not gonna let go of Wynn's hands, just because he feels yeah, this is probably the best bet here.
eh, probably.
Yeah. So, they walk back to the hotel room, and I assume there's no incident.
More than likely, yeah.
Yeah, whenever someone almost bumps into when Marcel just kind of maneuvers them from where he's holding Wynn's hand. He has a +4 in Dex, baby. But
Heck yeah.
yeah. Yeah, heck yeah. And yeah, it takes a bit, but eventually, they are back in Wynn's hotel room, and Marcel's just like, "All right, okay, we're back. You okay?"
I, I will be. I think. I. Oh my goodness! I don't know what happened.
You freaked out when you cast a cantrip. It happens, especially with magic being so in tune with our emotions.
I've always been in control of my magic. I don't understand. Well, I mean, maybe not always. When I was much younger, definitely not. But and he's pacing at this point because it doesn't make any sense to him.
Marcel is wincing because and then he goes, "Well, you well, when I first got my when I first gave up my magic and had to start from the ground up, I had accidents like this as well." When?
I'm going to have him roll a thing real quick.
Oh boy, don't hurt him.
I'm not hurting him. I'm just seeing if he knows a thing. Uh,
Is that necessary?
that is a 12. That is an Arcana check, and he's thinking for a moment, and he seems to be trying to. Actually, do you want to roll an insight?
Yeah, sure, let's go. That's a 4. Marcel's too worried.
Uh, player to player communication. He is trying to feel his magic,
Mm-hmm.
like search deep, connect to it, get a sense of what the fuck is going on. And with that 12, um, he doesn't recognize some of it.
Oh boy. Hey,
uh,
Win, how are you feeling?
well, I mean, he does actually recognize some of it, but that. But at the same time, he doesn't. It's not necessarily his. So I gotta make another thing.
Are you making a whiz save?
Maybe.
At disadvantage.
Oh, wait. I meant for that to be a 2. So that 4 is actually just a 6. But
Oh boy.
you don't have to make an insight for this. Uh, there is a moment of terror as he realizes, oh god, his magic has gotten stronger like he thought, but this isn't his normal magic.
When?
It's not mine.
Okay. What do you mean it's not yours?
I shouldn't know this spell. I mean, mm, technically speaking, I should know, God, almost every spell in the book, but I shouldn't be able to cast this.
And Marcel's kind of like looking at Win and it's just like, oh, because, yeah, he has been through something similar, but in his case, he already knew, like, from the get-go what he was getting into. And Win's just here, like, he didn't make a pact or anything. It was literally, like, just something unfortunate that happened.
without explanation, I think he is going to turn to a pile of books that he has sitting at his desk. Particularly the ones from the restricted section that he had just like randomly picked up for the heck of it, but ended up discovering that, oh, okay, that actually has information about certain things that he might need to know in the future. And I'm gonna have him.
God, you're
Where
bullying him.
I am. Gotta bully my boy. That's a 23. Hell yeah. So he's frantically looking through the book, swiftly flipping every page, if not a little bit carelessly, and that is not something normally you would expect him to do. Until he is swiftly skimming every single word of every page as he does this, and it's almost like lightning. You actually see lightning sparks emanate from
And
his fingertips
oh gosh.
from the intensity.
And I'm gonna roll an Arcana to see if Mersel recognizes this spell. That's a nat 20, baby.
Shocking grasp.
And Mercel's just like, oh, I know this spell as well.
He's like, wait, hold on. And he looks at his fingers and he realizes he's casting another spell. And he's just like, ah! And he goes back to flipping and it's even faster until finally he stops. And he reads. And then he stops again and he takes a seat in the seat near the desk that he was basically hunched over, flipping through pages on.
Are you? And Marcel's just, he doesn't know what to do. He doesn't know what to say here.
Jasper, knock it off. One second. Alright, sorry about that. I am back.
And Marcel's just kind of like looking like Winn and going, Winn?
You want to make me a perception?
Yeah. Do you mean inside?
No, just a perception, because he's mumbling something. You can barely hear him mumble. Sorcerer.
And Marcel's, I'm actually gonna roll a history, because I don't think Winn has ever told Marcel straight up that he was a wizard. Yeah, 15. He knows for a fact that Winn's a wizard. So when Winn mentions sorcery, he's just, but you're a wizard, aren't you?
That's what I have been. That's what I had expected to only be. But the magic that is combining with mine, it's not wizardry, it's sorcery.
And Marcel's just kind of like, Marcel just has this kind of like, oh shit, like look on his face. Because, wow, magic is such an intimate part of someone, and like, again, he knew what he was getting into when his magic changed and everything. Winn did not.
I wondered why this magic doesn't feel like mine. It's not.
Are you? and he cuts himself off before he can ask, "Are you all right?" again, because clearly Winn is not, and he instead settles for this. Hmm, how does it feel then?
Dark.
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 God. And Sal's just looking at Winn, and Winn sounds so like, hey, how does Winn sound?
Like he's about to beat ass. No. No. Jasper, stop. It's just the neighbors having a party. They're allowed to have fun. Your input was not necessary.
Yeah, how's Winn like looking right now? Cause Sal's really concerned for him.
He looks. Oh God, how to describe the way that he looks? He looks like a combination of. Have you ever been in a situation where something happened and you weren't expecting it, but you're also like you're in that kind of shock where you don't even really feel surprised?
Yeah.
You're so shocked and confused, and it kind of feels like despair in a sense. He doesn't even really know how to respond.
And Marcel pauses here, and he doesn't know what to do, but he finally settles on giving Win a hug if Win would let him.
Uh, I I don't think I don't think that he would, if only because he is afraid that he might like his magic might do something wonky, and he really doesn't want to hurt uh Mersel.
Mm-hmm.
So
Like
I
Marcel would have asked if it was okay for him to if it was okay for him to to hug Win, and if Win says no, then Marcel would like accept that and just kind of like sit next to him instead.
sorry about that.
Just
Downstairs
no, it's
neighbors are
okay.
being super loud.
Marcel just goes Marcel just goes uh Marcel just goes, if there's any way I can help, I want to help you. God, the road outside is really loud right now. But
Goodness, the
yeah, Marcel's
background
just
noise
like,
on both of our ends is just gonna be awful this FPS.
yeah, but yeah, Marcel's just gonna
Apologies.
yeah, Marcel's just gonna like sit next to Win and tell Win that like if there's any way he can help Win, like he wants to do that.
Uh, Win isn't sure what to do, but um, swear to God, he'll honestly take. Uh, I can't think because of my fucking neighbors.
I give you a pat.
Um, Jesus fucking Christ. Do you have any ideas, Vamp? I'm so sorry. I'm going to be going
No,
downstairs and knocking on their fucking door at this point.
you don't have
After
to. It's
the
okay.
No, after the FPS, it's like it's 10:30 a.m. They don't need to be having their music so loud that I can feel it vibrating through the floor.
Oh yeah, that's terrible. But in about like ideas, like Marcel's just gonna like very quietly go, dark magic doesn't always mean dark person.
I know that. That- to an extent, I know that. I know this whose this feels like, though. And admittedly, it is a little scary to know
I'm gonna
that
roll for
have it.
intelligence. Or Marcel does not get what Wynn's insinuating and goes, who does it feel like?
Feels like your mother's.
Ah, and Marcel does flinch at that. He just, oh, and falls into quiet. And and he's like, what can he say towards that? Like, if it wasn't his position, he would be extremely like freaked out as well. Like, hell, he was kind of in this position in the past, and like he gave up like his whole magic just to not feel it anymore.
I, it, That's pretty much why Winn has been so speechless and confused. Um, he doesn't know what to do in this situation. He he knows this magic. He knows it well. He knows who is it resembles, and I think he's slowly piecing together where he got it, and that in of itself is terrifying.
Yeah, and Sol's just like looking at Win, and it's just, and I'm gonna roll a d2 real quick. Okay, that's a one. Sal's gonna grab Win's hand.
He's busy. Okay, we're back. Hello, everyone. Um, so now I can think. Um, I think after a little bit, the only thing he can really think of to do is to try and get a handle on it.
Yeah, and Sal like did grab his hand earlier, like to hold Win's hand, and he's just like, all right, so you have frostbite and shocking grasp. Is there anything else you have? You think?
He thinks for a moment, and he recalls a time earlier today while looking at houses. One of the realtors was an asshole, and he was thinking some pretty nasty words, but of course he wasn't saying them because he's polite. And just because you think things Doesn't mean you have to say them.
Mm-hmm.
But then he felt a burst of magic, and while he didn't see anything, um, the realtor seemed to react to something as if they had a terrible headache.
Hmm. And Mersel kind of like listens to this and goes, "Well, hmm. Were you saying anything at the time?"
I was saying thank you for showing me uh the house, but
Might have been vicious mockery.
I don't think so. I wasn't rude about it.
As far as I remember, it it can be driven by intent, but then again, it is a bard spell, and Mersel nods. It could not have been that. Um, I think so. So of course, this is assuming that it's a cantrip and not a more high level spell.
Uh, yeah, I believe it may have been. I didn't feel any more tired than I would if I had used the spell.
All right, and Mercel's gonna actually summon his own spell book in a flash of gold and blue, and I'm gonna roll Arcana to see if he figures it out. That's a dirty 20. Hey, Babble, does he figure it out?
He do. It's uh, mind sliver.
Yeah, and that's actually really like good because Marcel also has that like he never learned it, but it was like a possibility for him to learn. And he's just looking through his spell book and his eyes land on that one and goes, "Alright, I think you might have cast Mind Sliver."
Oh, okay. All right. That's that's interesting.
And Marcel's just squeezing Wynn's hand like comfortable, like as comfortingly as he can. It's just like, hey, it's all right, okay. Um, I can't imagine how this must feel for you, but it's okay. It's takes like a deep breath through his nose and goes, "You can. It's dark, and I don't know how it feel to you, but you can. It doesn't make you dark. You're not her, and you can make this magic your own."
I think the only thing he can really do is nod. He knows that it, even if he might not be stuck with it forever, he knows that at the moment it's what he has, and he'll have to work with it to make it his own, and to work to uh, separate it from his sister.
Mm-hmm. And Marcel again. Marcel just squeezes Wynn's hand, like he's just here, like he's just silently supportive, and it's just once again, like, and if you need help about any of this, I'll be glad to help you. All right. I know two of the cantrips you've cast so far, and I might not know Mind Silver, but I feel like I feel like I know how that one works. Hey, why did you roll a d20?
I I rolled an insight for Winn to see if he could see how Mersel was doing, but that's a 4.
Yeah, you see nothing. Not even if I contest it, considering self-deception is +8.
He
I am
tried.
gonna say, I am gonna say though, like even with the 4, you can tell that he's worried about you, but also he seems like newly determined to help you. Just like kind of hilarious considering that he he's supposed to be the student in this relationship.
Yeah, I think seeing that he gets this sad but kind of humored smile as he mumbles, "You know, you were supposed to be the student."
Uh, yeah, and he flushes a little and gives a sheepish smile as he scratches at his tree before going, well, who's to say we can't learn from each other?
I had always expected that we would, although I didn't think it would be this drastic of a change. And he says that with a sort of uh, sad, but also like, yeah, okay, I'll accept that. Kind of laugh, and it's not in a negative way either.
Mm,
It's more so in a
and
way
as
like,
well,
yeah, okay, all right,
yeah,
this there's a lesson to be learned in this for him.
yeah, a lesson to be more careful around cursed items in the future.
Yeah, yeah, not only that, player to player communication. Admittedly, Professor Winn was overly reliant on his magic before this.
Ha ha ha. Actually, funnily enough, that's something that Cell because when he was much younger, his cantrips and spells were like all offensive, right?
Hmm.
But like having his strength and talent like taken from him actually forced him to be more creative with how he uses it, and also forced him like is currently like making him like explore avenues he wouldn't have otherwise. Will Smith said his rogue multi-class.
It'd be like that.
Yeah. And I think Sal pauses for a second before his own magic like starts crackling in his fingers, and he points like at a potted plant or something in the hotel room, and frost spreads over it like in a burst of blue and gold. It's just like, and hey, your cantrips, and he kind of like fumbles a little, or he goes, well, they match mine, don't they?
I, they do.
Yeah, so you're kind of I guess and he's like fumbling here, but he's like and he's a little pink, but he goes, guess your magic's similar to mine as well.
He has his face in his hands, but like it's more so in of like, oh god, this was not planned. But I'm like he's not. It's not in a negative way. Like once again, it is not in a negative way. It's just like, oh god, surprise
And
kind of
Sal's
way.
and Sal's just like really like awkwardly like smiling, and he just like bursts this part out before he can lose his nerve, just like, and well, I guess we're more alike now. I It makes you feel better. You you can think of that magic as being more similar to my my magic, I guess.
Marcel, Winn looks up at you, and that fond smile of just paternal adoration has returned to his face as he looks at you.
And Saul doesn't know how to handle that. Saul's still kind of like luscious, and like his hair rises up, and he he yeah he still like every single time you tell him like you're proud of him or you show like blatant affection, like there's always like that split second where he pauses and like kind of registers this.
Uh, you cut out after he pauses.
Yeah, no, like whenever someone's like nice to him or show affection or whatnot, like there's always like there's always that like split second where he pauses or he looks caught, like he doesn't get how to take that.
Oh. uh, yeah, I don't really think he has much else to really say with words other than just a very soft and affectionate thank you. And I think now is when he feels calm enough that he is 99% sure that his magic isn't going to go haywire, bonkers, or something else and possibly
Mhm.
cause any damage. So he will open one of his arms for a hug if Mersel would like to.
And Sal kind of like pauses a little before he goes into the hug, and he gives like Win a hug as well. So it's going to be all right. You're going to get your feet under you. I'll help, and it's not going to go haywire or anything.
You're right. We can figure this out together if you
You'll,
still want to, of course.
yeah, of course I'd want to. Why wouldn't I?
I was just making sure that you had that option. Like I said,
And
everything is still up to you.
and he kind of buries his face in Win's shoulder at that goes, thank you. I am so tempted to have Marcel say something here. I am so tempted. You know what? I'm gonna roll a D2. If it's a 1, he won't say anything. If it's a 2, he's gonna accidentally say something. Okay, it's a 2. As the camera like slowly like pans away from Marcel and Win, like when you hear like Marcel murmur something into your shoulder, it's just like that's more than Sylvester ever did.
I'm gonna have him roll a history just to see if he knows who Sylvester is. Not that.
God, fucking hell. I'm using a luck point on giving you advantage. Because holy shit, I want this so badly.
That's a
21.
21! It's a 21. He knows who that is. And his eyes, they were closed because he was content. His eye shoots open in horror. Like, excuse. But I think that's where I'm gonna cut Win off. Just the sudden realization of what?
Yeah, the camera like pans away on Win going, excuse me? And like, that's it. That's the end of the NPS.
Thank you for listening, everybody.
Thank you for listening. We hope you had fun.
Yes. And again, I'm very sorry for the background noise on my end.
No, it's okay. I had a lot of background noise as well.